left over in Rashi. No, yeah. We didn't have Pshat. Up, it's Gimel. V'daber Moshe Loam Lemor. Right, that Rashi. Api sheshama shemisoso tluyo bedover. Also b'simcha lo icher. He did it with joy, and he did not delay. Well, not delay, that's obvious. Could be if a person knows he's going to die, unless you see the value of the action having greater value than your life, you're going to somehow procrastinate, and you're going to justify why you should delay, like we discussed yesterday. It's in the best interest of Klal Yisrael that Moshe should continue living. Right? Especially HaKadosh Baruch Hu told him, if you remember, we once mentioned the Rechaim HaKadosh, Shlach L'cho Anoshim. Remember one pshat he said, it's in your best interest you should spend the spies. Why? Because since it's been decreed you shouldn't go into Eretz Yisrael. So if you want to extend your life for 40 years, Shlach L'cho, you're going to be the beneficiary of sending the spies. Because if they're going to be delayed, that's going to extend your life for another 40 years. Shlach L'cho Anoshim. But what's the value of his life being extended? Because that they failed is an indication they're not ready to go in. So being under your influence will be beneficial to them. So because they need you, therefore your life will be extended for 40 years. Because they're going to wander in the desert, because they're not worthy to go in. So why should Moshe be Icher? He would have to justify it. So why isn't he justifying it? Because he sees doing the will of Hashem has greater value than what? Than extending his life. That's otherwise naturally be impossible not to rationalize, to justify it, and to delay. So the answer is because he recognizes, appreciates the value of doing it immediately. Once you appreciate its value over your life, then it's also b'simcha. That's b'simcha. B'simcha, also b'simcha lo icher. Because one cannot go without the other. I understand that. But again, Hashem says their entry is dependent on this war. He could justify delaying the war. He could justify it. It's their best interest that he should live longer. Because the longer they're under his influence, the better it is for them. But he doesn't justify it. So what does that mean? He sees the value, but he's going to die. So what's the answer? He sees the value of doing the will of Hashem, that they should enter immediately, greater than his own life continuing. So what does it mean? So if you see that value is greater than your life, it has to be b'simcha, right? Otherwise, how could you not see it that way?
Well, the only reason we're having this discussion because Hashem didn't tell me he has to do it right away. It was left up to him.
Correct. So that shows his greatness. Lo icher. It's pointing that out. He knew his life is contingent on this, whether he lives or dies. Also, b'simcha lo icher. Just says they were killed. It doesn't say, or Reb Kiva did the simcha. It says he waited all his life for that moment. That definitely simcha. He was ecstatic. They were crying. He says, I've been waiting for this moment all my life. That's what he said to his Talmidim. That's definitely b'simcha. Hey, cholzu k'taguma losha chalutzi tzovo. Anoshim, you should How does he explain in English the word Hecholzu? What? No, Cholzu means. He says, Chalutzit Mizuyonim, Hecholzu Mizuyonim, arm. Anoshim Tzadikim. Chem Cholonu Anoshim, Chen Anoshim Chachom Yiduim. Nikmas Hashem she'omed keneged Yisrael kilu omed keneged HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Over here he cites the Balaturim. Achet Yosef, Visharo Masim Yonis Lokini L'Shem. Factually, Moshe is delaying, even though it says he forgot the halacha, but factually it's a little bit of a Chil Hashem. How does Moshe not respond? L'kach nitlu Chayov B'nikmas Minyonim. The reason why his life was contingent on destroying Midian was because that was it didn't reflect well on him. Visharov Masim Yonis Lokini L'Hashem. Even though it says it was because he forgot the halacha. It's not because he was laid back or anything. He didn't act immediately. Especially according to Chazal, he forgot it so Pinchas should be zoche. Hashem caused Moshe to forget. El Amecho. El Amcho. What's the Amecho with the Yud? The plural. It says Mola Yud Loma Sheb Yud Mekomas B'Torah Huskara Misoso. 10 locations. The Yud, that's what it's Maramis. That's what it alludes to. Yeah. Okay. Ramban over here explains, wanted to ask Elazar, wanted Elazar go to Milchama. I mean, Elazar should have been the one to destroy them. He says, "En Roy Shelech Elazar ki Yaakov Negodol." I mean, I understand the question. And we have what we call Meshuach Milchama. Right, you have a Kohen who's designated to go out to Muhammad. That wasn't Elazar. Pinchas was a Meshulch Muhammad.
Also, Rashi says that Yosef will connection.
But we didn't get there. What that he should, because they sold him. That's a separate question. I mean, what does one thing have to do with another? No, but I'm saying the Ramban. In Roy Sheilech Elazar Kohen Agadol. Also, he says something interesting. He says, Moshe chola kovod lepinchas yischo b'mitzvah all over the Gomra. V'asa Moshe m'chomazu. V'asa Meshuach m'chomazu. It seems to be Moshe could have taken the mitzvah himself. He says, cholak lo kovod. It's the right thing for you to do it. But if Moshe wanted, he could have taken it for himself. No, killing. No, not Zimri. No, Zimri. No, this war here. He was told. Moshe was told to destroy them, but he understood because of Kol HaMaschal Mitzvah Omlo Gemara. Therefore, it was the right thing to give it to Pinchas. He was willing to waive it, to let it go. Yeah, I understand that. Pinchas was the Meshulchan B'cham. Pinchas was the Meshulchan. Yeah, but Pinchas is not the one who actually does the killing. So he goes to war, but what about the actual being involved in the battle itself? Pinchas was involved in the battle. Elef Lamate, Chomatos Yisrael Tishluchu Latzova. Chomatos Yisrael. So Rashi says, L'Rabba Shevet Levi. Right? Yeah. But said then you should have 13,000. You should have 13,000, not 12,000. Okay? Well, that's what you have to say. V'yimosru be'alfa Yisrael elef lamater. Shnei mosa elef chalutzi tzova. There are 12,000. V'yimosru. They were forced. I mean, the Targum says v'is b'choru. Even though I don't know what v'yimosru have to do is b'choru. Is b'choru means they were chosen. Right? What does Targum in New Zealand say? V'is b'choru also. It says two things. B'choru guvrin tzadikin u'mesorun nafshahon. Mesora, they gave v'yimosru, even though v'yimosru grammatically, u'mesorun nafshahon. It seems to be they gave them. Mosru, it seems to be they were given v'yimosru. That's what he's learning, not the way Rashi. They gave of themselves. Lodiach shulchan shel roi Yisrael, kamim chavivin al Yisrael, ad shelo shom misoso mahu omer. Od Marus Koluni, Shamush Misas Moshe Tluyi Benikmas Midjon, Lo Rotzel Leches Achiniptr Al Korchon. Firstly, that was a different generation. Chama Chavivan said there was Od Marus Koluni because they thought that what they were going to die. It was different that generation. We don't find that kind of talk in this generation. That was the most extreme. First of all, what did they have better? There, the alternative was to go back. Why did you take us out of Egypt? We're going to die in the desert. Okay? Now, what is it? We're going to go to war. But since they knew the war, his death was contingent on the battle, they didn't want to go. So therefore, how does that show Shivchon Shel Roi Yisrael? They understood they needed Moshe. So how do we understand it? Yeah, it's bothering me. So I was thinking, factually, if Klal Yisrael knew Moshe wasn't meant to go in, I mean, here they've been complaining, we're going to die in the desert. You took us out of Mitzrayim to die in the desert. When are we going in? We haven't seen yet Eretz Zovus Chol Devosh. But if Moshe is not going in, you're not going in. Right? You're not going until he dies. So if that's the case, go to war. So why did they have to be forced to go to war? Mikan shechavivin shivchon shel Yisrael. Right? That the chavivin. Because this seems to be contradictory to your previous behavior. You wanted to go already into Eretz Zovus Chol Devosh, so you should go to war immediately. But Moshe is going to die. But that's what you've been wanting all along. So we see over here, Cham Chavivin Shivchon Shel Roi Yisrael. Kamim Chavivin Al Yisrael. When there's a problem, they complain. When there's no problem, then they recognize the specialness of the leaders, of the shepherds of Yisrael. I mean, that's what you have to say.
When I was learning this, I was thinking that I didn't fully understand it because on the one hand, these 12,000 people that were chosen, they're very elite